Oh, I'm greatly to be praised. For you alone are great. For you alone are great. And greatly to be praised. For you alone are great. Giving me victory.
For every shame and for every pain, Jesus has gone to. He's giving you beauty for ashes, and He's clothing you with a garment of praise. Wherever you are right now, open up your heart and then praise. Your beautifier, my beautifier. My beautifier, you're taking away the shame, you're taking away the pain. You made my life so beautiful. My beautifier, you're taking away the shame, you're taking away the pain. You made me just like you. My beautifier, you're taking away the shame, you're taking away the pain. You made my life so beautiful. My beautifier, you're taking away the shame, you're taking away the pain. You made me just like you, my beautifier.
My beautifier,
You have
taking away the shame,
taken away,
taking away the pain.
made my life so beautiful. My beautifier,
Taking away the shame,
taking away,
taking away the pain.
just like you.
Made me just like
I'm so
that, so
beautiful.
beautiful.
My beautifier,
Taking away the shame,
taking away,
taking away the pain.
made my life so beautiful. My beautifier.
All right. Good. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for coming on the show with me. If you can hear me, if you can see me, please quickly just let me know you can hear me and you can see me clearly. I need some feedbacks right there, real quick right now. And as you're coming in, please go ahead, share this video on your page because we are about to go on a different journey again today. Last week, Saturday, we went on a very deep journey. And today we're going to be going on another journey right now. If you can hear me, please, can you please type it in there? You can hear me, you can see me, it's clear, it's beautiful. Let me say that quickly. Thank you very much as you're giving me the feedback. God bless you. I can spot a lot of my fans out here right now, pop it up right now. Thank you very much for coming. As you're coming in, I want you guys to share the video, share it on your page, share it on your page by the grace of God. Let's get more people connected at this time. What are we doing here on this show? This show is actually meant to educate people, to strengthen people. When I'm talking about education, I'm talking about you need to hear another person's story. And when you hear what they've been through, it's going to solidify your life. It's going to encourage you. At the same time, you are going to be strengthened. So you'll be able to go through the journey of your life also. This particular show is not coming to you to come and attack anybody. This show is not here to badmouth anybody. It's not here to accuse anybody. This particular show is here to strengthen somebody out there. I know how many people have called me today. Many women called me crying. Pastor Shola, you need to help me. Pastor Shola, you need to help me. All right? Oh, I want to help you, but there is nothing I could do. When life is actually on you, when you are passing through life, all right? When you're passing through the making, the journey of life, nobody is going to be able to help you. You're going to pass through it by yourself. And the issue is just that if you give up, then you won't become anything. And you might not be able to be given this kind of opportunity we are going to give to my sister today because she might not be able to have it. Maybe along the line she gave up and then something happened to her. Probably she killed herself or anything. All right? Nobody can help you. You have to help yourself. It's all about your mindset. It's all about your actions. It's all about your choices. Whatever it is that you want to do, you actually take action quickly and do whatever it is that needs to be done. Listen, this particular show today is going to make you cry. This show today is going to get you angry. This show today is going to make you quiet. You're going to be quiet and you put your hands on your chin and be thinking like, is it possible? Can somebody go through this kind of life? Can somebody go through this kind of situation? Now, we're not here to blame nobody, like I said. We're not going to blame anybody. But we're going to talk about the story of the life of this young woman. How she escaped death. How she come to live. Not just by herself, but with her own son. I saw the picture of that little boy when they left. He was kind of like a little baby like this. I'm going to show you. Very small baby like this when the woman made up her mind to leave. She chose life instead of death. And today she's alive. I want to let you know she's alive right now. I'm looking at her in my studio right this moment. I'm going to be bringing her to you guys very soon. And I want you to know one thing. Whatever she will say here today is the truth and nothing but the truth. It takes courage for somebody to come out like this on this international platform. Everybody's watching from all over the world. People are here from Nigeria. People are here from, you know, Canada, the UK, America, everywhere in the world, expecting to hear this story right now. It's not easy for somebody to come and share their own story. It's very easy for you. Sitting on your chair right now with a glass of water or a glass of Coke, or maybe you're having NSC in your own glass, or you're having red wine in your own cup. You know, you're waiting to listen to the story of somebody else's life. It's good for you. It's easy for you. But wherever you're sitting right now, you're going to be breathing. You're going to be going like, If you can have that kind of a courage to share your own story too, number one, it's a therapy. Whosoever has got the opportunity of sharing it, that person will now start feeling good, happiness and joy, because there will be relief. Without wasting time, let me bring my guest online with you. Here she is. Bridget, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Thank
My
God.
God, my God. We thank God for your life. Thank God for what you've been through anyway. Can you please introduce yourself briefly? Let us know you.
From Nigeria, my name is Nkechi.
Okay.
I grew up in Itere, grew up in Lagos, and I moved to America 2002. Yeah, I moved to Maryland, and from there, I'm still in America. Yeah, I went to Nuera Girls Secondary School, went to Elizabeth Fowler, attended Unilag, attended Imo State University when it was Abia State University now, but it was Imo State University then. So, but presently I'm in US, but I cannot tell you where the state that I am now.
Thank you. You don't have to tell us. We appreciate that. We want to hear the story of your life. I want you to be very comfortable. I want you to know that you are home. Nobody's here to insult you or to attack you. I want you to just feel free and tell your story. People are waiting to learn, like we discussed. You are coming on the show today to educate people. You're coming to use the story of your life to teach people a lesson, for them to be careful and take the necessary steps to better themselves. So the mic is yours.
Okay, good evening, all. I want to thank you all. But before I go to thank you, I want to thank God that I'm alive today. This month is exactly 14 years. 14 years that I ran away from my abuser, that I ran away with my son, that I ran away from where that I was being sent to by my ex-husband. 14 years this month. I want to say I thank God for everything, that I'm telling my story, that nobody is telling my story, that I'm telling my story, and I'm alive, walking. So my journey started from Itere, Lagos. I met my abuser. We live in the same neighborhood. Like I said, I went to New Era Girls, called Surulere Girls Secondary School. How I met my abuser, he lives like, they live at number 19. I live at number 22. And he was such a very brilliant guy. Everybody loved him. And I used to see him. And because he was very brilliant, everybody talked about him so much. And I really did not stay on Itire very well because my mom had a shop at Ogulano bus stop. But before I go further, I'm not going to mention names, because if I mention names, when you hear my story, people can go out and fight for me. I don't want anybody to fight for me. I want God to fight for me, because if it's not for God, I will not be here today. When I start telling my story, I might go emotional, I might cry, but just kindly bear with me and just listen to me. I'm telling the story to uplift some women, to encourage them and tell them it's going to be okay. And with God, you can do everything. So I met this guy just because I needed help, for somebody to help me with a physics assignment. Because he was very smart, I took my physics assignment to him. He taught me and he helped me. And I am a tomboy, always in the midst of boys. Everybody never liked me in my neighborhood because they see me in the midst of even him himself. But he never knew I was a science student. So that's how we get to start to relating. I was doing chemistry, he was doing chemistry, I was doing physics. He will help me and I'll take my homework to school. As a young lady that was from a poor home, I was hawking plantain for my mother at Ogulano bus stop. If anybody knows Ogulano bus stop, that's where my mother used to sell plantain. And I went to Nuera Girls. So this guy, we live at Itire, he will help me. And all of a sudden on my birthday, January 1st, he asked somebody to come and call me. And I sent a birthday gift to him. But my parents gave me biscuit or something to share. And I gave him some. And then later he told me he wanted to date me. And we started. But one thing I always tell myself is, when I was young, that you would never, any man that disvirgin me will be my husband. And any man that I meet at that time until I get into university, I will not have anything to do with a man. No matter what, I was very cautious of my body and I kept myself holy because I was a church girl. So when I met this guy, I told him when he started, I said, if the day you ask me of anything sexually, the end of the relationship. So we started, and I was going to school. And one thing again, I said to myself, there are three professions I wanted to be, because my mother sells plantain very close to Lutz, that I wanted to be doctor or be a police officer or be a lawyer. And I kept to that word, he fighting to get to that point in my life. So when I met this guy, we started dating for 1 year, 2 years. I got into Imo State University then, and then from there it became Abia State University. But my WAEC result was seized. And when my WAEC results was, they released it and they seized it again. But I already got admission to Imo State University to read medicine and surgery, because that was my goal. I fought to get to that goal, because most of the time when I see doctors come to buy things from my mother, as a plantain seller, I always say to myself, I want to be a doctor. I want to be a doctor. So when I met this guy, he was in another school. He got admission to Unilag and had a problem, and then went to Futo. I'm not going to mention his name. And we started. And since my results was seized, I did registration. They allowed me in. I stayed there for like 1 or 2 years. But one thing about this guy is he was very, very smart, but very controlling, very domineering. He doesn't want any man, anybody to be around me, especially when he found out that I was a virgin, because he was always looking down on me, that I was nobody. And they were even richer, a little bit richer than us. So he was very protective. He will come to my school or wherever I was to work with me. He never allowed any man in my life or anybody. So we continued. I was in school. If I do anything, talk. I cannot shake a man. I cannot talk to a man. If I do, he will beat me. And when I mean he will beat me, he will not just beat me, he will beat me very well that I will bleed. And I can't tell anybody. But just because I didn't have anybody to help me with my physics or whatever that I'm doing, he was very smart. I kept to it, and I'll tell him that he needs to stop, but he never listened, and I can't tell him to leave me to go away. So because that was my first boyfriend, like the first person, even when we went to school, he was very protective. As I was, I never went to a male hostel. I never went to anything in my schools that I attended, because he was always there and very protective of me. So when we're at Abia State University, since my result was seized, they asked me that they will let go of me because I don't have my results, but they allowed me in because I was the number one in Imo State and the third person in the whole Nigeria when I did my jam. So they allowed me to stay thinking the result was going to be released, and the result wasn't released. I spent almost 2 years at Imo State University, now Abia State University. So I remember they had a thing at my school, and one of my classmates, please take note, when somebody is telling you something, you need to listen. A roommate of mine saw my ex-husband by the door of our hostel, and he said to me, "Who is that boy looking for? Is he your brother?" I said, "No, he's my boyfriend." And could you believe my roommate moved away from our room? And she refused to talk to me. She just said something to me then, which I keep recollecting. She said to me, "If you see a snake and you see that man, that boy that you're standing with, you go to the side of the snake to save you than you going to the boy." I was like, why would he say that? He's very smart, very nice man. Why would my roommate say that? I said, because he's a tall and handsome man, and maybe she's jealous. So I didn't take notes. I didn't say anything. So as we're there going out, and I had to go, he was in Futo, I was in Uturu. So later we went back home. When we went back home, I had to go and take my another WAEC. But my parents were poor. I didn't have anybody to help me. I used to steal my mother's plantain to go to lesson, to sell to teachers. I used to steal my mother's plantain to get some little money to get private chemistry teacher. But when he came into my life, I stopped doing that. So when I came back to Lagos, because our school was closed, something happened between my sister and somebody, and I had to go to a police station. And when I went to the police station, I met another man. This man he was really older than the two of us. He's a police officer now. I can't mention his name. He was 2-star then. And virtually the time I came to meet him, I think 1 month or 2 months before I met him, he lost his wife. So, and I was young. I came into the station, he talked, and I did what I was to do and left. So, not knowing that he was going to come back to our house, he looked for my address and came. And he spoke to me and asked me what I was doing. From there, I said I was a medical student at Imo State University. This is what is happening. I'm crying over my WAEC. Then this guy from nowhere volunteered to pay for that WAEC result that I was looking for, and for somebody to help me. And he paid for me and wanted a relationship. And my boyfriend that we live very close by found out and was mad about it, and there was a trouble between the two of them. They fought because of me. He was a police officer wearing his uniform. My young boyfriend slapped him in uniform. They fought, and a lot of police people came in their own house and they locked him up. And later that my boyfriend released him. So, but I did not know that my boyfriend did not forgive me. He did not forgive me. This, I'm telling you, 1991, years ago, I did not know. And this guy insisted that he wanted to marry me. My parents said, No, my mother especially said you can't marry a Yoruba man. Then my mother said I had to marry this young man because my mother said because that guy is rich and this one is poor, that's why you want to go with him, and he lost his wife over my dead body, you can't marry him. But my mother never knew what I was going through. My mother never knew that somehow I was being abused by this guy. I never saw it as an abuse, I saw it as love. But honestly, it wasn't love because he was too protective of me. And when I mean he will beat me to blood coming out of me. And then the next day he will apologize. So this guy helped me, tried in several ways to marry me. My mother refused. And this police officer took me to his mother. His mother welcomed me. But the young guy, his mother doesn't even like me. And the neighborhood, everybody was saying, you're dating somebody your father is dating, people cussing me out and everything, but I never knew. They were directly telling me to stay away from that relationship. So as time will go on, I married this guy. When I married him, we married privately because of the love that he had for me. And I told him when he was going to disvirgin me that if you would be the one that would disvirgin me, you'll be the one that will marry me. He agreed. So when I finished from Imo State University, this same police officer paid my JAM fee to come to University of Lagos. I took another JAM and I went to University of Lagos. Medicine and surgery again, I got admission to University of Lagos. But my mother does not want me to go with this officer. He wants me to stay away from a Yoruba man. His wife died. He smokes, he drinks. My mother hated him so much. So this young guy didn't have anything. He never took me out. He never took me anywhere. But I was still hanging there with him. But the thing there is, anytime he sees me with a guy, he will beat the hell out of me. So, when I was at University of Lagos, he traveled to out of the country. But this guy still had it at the back of the mind that he would deal with me. His family too, that they would deal with me forever, allowing their son being locked up by a man. But it's just things happen. And I thought he has forgiven me. I even apologized to his family. So he finished and came to US. He did not bring me. He won visa lottery. His mother insisted that he wasn't going to marry me. And I wanted to leave quietly. My mother kept telling me that everything is going to be okay, that I should marry him. And other men came for me. My mother said no, except that guy. Little do I know that my mother was busy praying with the guy and doing so many things. But me, I was being beaten all the time. I was running. Each time I run, he will come to the street and cry and beg, and I will go back. But deep down inside of me, he's very tall. He's 6'4", and I cannot run away from him. So he traveled, came. He will call and call. But let me say this, all of you that are listening to me, God was really trying to take me away from this relationship, but I was not listening. He left the country, did not bring me to the US. Each time I go to the embassy, they will not give me visa. Each time I go to the embassy, they will not give me visa. But just because I knew some people, they had to give me a note and I got the visa. By the time I came to US, my sister and brother listening to me, that is when I knew who this guy was. I got it all. So that is where I want to start my story from. And I'm going to tell you how I ran away. How I ran away with my little boy. My little boy is going to turn 14 years old next month. And not only that he abused me, he labeled me. After abusing me, he has to go to my parents. My parents died last year, 2 days interval of each other. My parents are not alive today to listen to me, to know what I have gone through with this marriage. I moved in with him at Maryland. I was living with him at Maryland. This guy will beat me. After beating me, he will have sex with me. He made me do a lot of things that I never expected me, Nkechi, to do. I could remember one day after cooking, I don't know what I said to him. He dumped all the food on the floor. Can your father, mother live in this kind of home? Can your father give you the kind of car that I give you or something? He will insult my parent before me. And I will cry and cry. Who can I run to? Each time I run to my mother and call my mother will tell me, don't worry, it's going to be okay. And let me tell you, even my traditional marriage, God was showing me a lot of things to stay away from this guy. My traditional marriage was cancelled more than 3 or 4 times. God was telling me to stay away from this family, but I did not listen. My traditional marriage was supposed to be done in Imo State. It was done at Dosumu Street. None of his auntie came. The only brother that came, we had the traditional marriage this evening. Before 2 hours, his brother took that traditional marriage video he recorded ball on it. He deleted it out. That was also a sign for me to stay away from this marriage. And I keep telling my mother, I want to go. Before I even came to US, 3 days after my traditional marriage, I was given the beating of my life in the compound of this guy, just because I asked him a question. You had a traditional marriage for me. In Igbo right, there is something you give to the mother, there is something you give to the wife. All that was given to my mother was not completed, and everything was like the wristwatch was like fake. My mother wore it the first day and it turned. My mother came to meet me and I went to talk to him that came from US. And this guy beats me. His mother was standing there telling him, beat her well. Blood everywhere. We live in the same neighborhood. I could not go outside. I locked myself inside the room. And I was telling myself, how can I go away from this marriage? How can I run? You understand? But when I came to the US, when he did not beats me, I'll call my mother. My mother will say, it's going to be okay. Maybe because you don't have a child. But that is not true. I got pregnant for him when I was at Unilag. I lost one of my tube. One of the reasons why I stayed, I lost one of my tube for him. As I'm sitting down here, I've lost one of my tube for this guy. And that is life. You understand? Whatever story that I'm telling you, please, it is true. If you're a young lady, if you want something, stick to it. Don't let somebody change your mind. And I lost one of my tube where I was trying to get rid of the child pregnancy that I had for him. They rushed me to Unilag. He didn't have money. It was Dr. Giwa Osage and Dr. Ajayi that did that surgery. And I remembered, while I still stay in the marriage too, Dr. Ajayi walked up to me while I was laying in the ward and said, you've lost one of your tube. And who is your boyfriend? I said, my boyfriend, whosoever you did this with. I said, that you should never leave that guy, because now you are somebody we call Tokumbo, or half person, because no man will want to marry you with you losing your tube. Stick with this guy. Make sure he marries you. You understand? And that's Dr. Ajayi, Professor Ajayi told me that. I said, okay, that is what I've gotten from messing around. Me that I said I wanted to be a virgin till I get married. So when we lived here, I got pregnant again. He asked me to remove the pregnancy because his senior brother, has not gotten his own wife pregnant. That had to remove the pregnancy. I did. First time, the second time. The second time that I did it in US, we had an accident. I said, God, what is all this that I'm doing? And I keep going to church. I will stay inside the house. I will cry and cry and cry because I don't know what I can do that will please him. As a Christian, I went to meet my priest at church. I don't miss church. I don't miss mass. I went to beg my pastor at church in Maryland. I said, please, I get this abuse all the time. Is it because I stay at home? Can you help me? I want to go to school. Can you help me? I want to look for a job. This my reverend father, a white priest, introduced me to two families, husband and wife. They went ahead, took me to school, registered me, told me anytime that he beats me again when he's sitting there, I should take fry pan and hit him on the head. But I can't do it with a tall man. Where would I get that power to do that? So when he saw that people were getting close to us, so he started changing. No more beating, no more anything. He pretended with me, not knowing that this guy still had me in mind to punish me because of what happened 1991. So that is why he brought me here, to really torture me. So now that we're inside the house, I have seen that somebody was helping us. He started being nice. He pretended as I got pregnant again. Something happened. They said is going to the other tube. They removed it. Another time, or they removed it again. So he said, okay, you do IVF. He will go with me. I went to do IVF 3 times. Nothing happened with the IVF. One day, because I'm very prayerful, I went into the house. I threw away everything of IVF and I went to God. I said, God, if you are the God that creates me, you should give me a child. Do not let me go through this pain of doing IVF again in my life. And I'm not taking any medicine. So I took everything that he bought. There is baby things. I gave it out. I said, when God gives me a child, that is when we start buying things in the house. But right now, we don't have a child. I don't need anything of a baby in my house. So we got all those things. As God will have it, I got pregnant. Even when I got pregnant, it was something I wasn't expecting. And I thought the pregnancy was going to be a thing of joy. No, that is when my pain started. That is when I started seeing the hell. This guy will beat me. He's a Navy person. He's a Navy officer here. When he beats me, you understand, at my workplace, he will pretend I'm bringing flowers. And people will look at me and say, oh, this your husband is so nice, oh, but they don't know what I'm going through in my house. For 7 days consecutively, I was receiving flowers, bouquets of flowers at my lunchtime. Everybody was, you have a nice husband. But the only person that knew what I was going through was my reverend father, my late sister. I will call her, because if I call my mother will hang up the phone. My mother will not listen to me. My mother was not listening to me at all. I was begging for my life. My mother never came to my aid. I called my father. My father told me, I told you not to marry this guy. You had a Yoruba man that wanted to marry you, that was ready for you. Another man that came, you married this guy. I'm out of it. That caused a problem between me and my dad for several years. So as I was with him, when I got pregnant, he told me he was on deployment. He will come, he will yell, he will do this. But me, I was very prayerful. I was begging God. I tried to run away. I can't find anywhere to run to. And all my friends, none of them were talking to me, not knowing that this guy not only was beating me, had gone to tell my friends that I was mentally sick, that I'm an osu. So people will stay away from me. When I call people, people will hang up. They hang up their phone. So you being an osu and you are mentally sick, nobody can hear you. I was living alone with my child. You understand? Even before with my pregnancy. So we left. As we were living in that house, he had an affair with a lady. I talked about the affair. I got beaten up. When I mean beaten to nobody can save me. I will stay inside the house and cry and beg God and talk to God. From Maryland, we moved to Virginia. When we moved to Virginia with the pregnancy, thank God, I was praying every day that he should go to deployment. And God answered me. He went on deployment. So it was just me alone. So when I looked at it, what can I do? I said, let me go back to school. I went back to school. At that August, my son was due in August 2006. So I went to school. I started meeting people, trying to talk to people. You understand? Even as well known people that he knew, nobody had baby shower. Nobody talked to me. Nobody wants to even near me, because for me, I didn't know I've been labeled that I'm crazy. I didn't know that I've been labeled that I'm an osu. You understand? And we live in this secluded neighborhood in Chesapeake, far away. The only thing in front of our house was water. It was a rich neighborhood. All you need to do is just take your boat and go sailing. So when I was asking for help, I ran to my neighbor, who is also a Navy chief. I said, please, I'm going through this. Please help me. The chief now called me. I went to tell him. He came back again, beat me. You are telling people. You understand? For me, I stopped telling people what was going on. But I will call churches. I will pray. I will call people outside, just churches. I would randomly pick up phone book and start calling churches to pray for me. You understand? Because I don't have anybody and I don't have anywhere to run to. And he noticed that I want to run away. He would take the other car and remove all the tires in the other car and park it so that I cannot run away. And I was living quietly there. So when I think my baby was due on the August, he came back 3 days to the time. I was happy that he came back. When he came back, I was having contraction. This guy left me in the house. He left home 4 o'clock in the morning. This is my first child, right? I begged him to take me to the hospital. Called and called. He never answered me. I said, okay, if you are not coming, can I call 911? Somebody be yala yeda kó pe 911 òṣìkan. Wàá rí nǹkan tójú ẹ̀ máa rí. I stayed again. Ìkúnlẹ̀ ni mo wà tí I was just praying, begging God to help me. How am I going to get out of this? Somebody that left home 4 a.m. in the morning, he came back around 6 in the evening. Contraction, nobody to tell me, sorry. I don't even have phone to call anybody, to beg to even talk to me. So when he came back, I pushed him to take me to the hospital. While I got to the hospital, hello? While I got to the hospital, he just rolled me into the hospital thing. I told them that I wasn't having contraction. I wasn't having contraction, no. They sent me back home, not knowing that the baby was coming. My baby had disease in his mouth that he sucked from this whole thing. And I kept asking them why they did not take care of the previous day that I came. You understand? They said nobody wanted to answer me. This guy, ibi tí mo ti ń bímọ, mo jẹ ìyà nílé ayé mi. Mo jẹ nǹkan kan ìyà. Níbi tí mo ti ń bímọ ní ward yẹn, táwọn doctor ń ṣe kíní, this guy was telling me, get out. He was insulting me there. The one that even paid me most, that a man, that his wife is having a child, could leave you inside that ward, that I'm having contraction, and telling me that he's going to Lowe's to go and buy something. And he left me. Koto, 10 minutes, I don't know what happened. All the drinks that was inside that room was taken out. And they came and started calling code blue on me. And they revived me, and I called him. I said, okay. He said, get out. Shut your mouth, Jare. No, Wale, Batima Tamatudele, abuse. He will yell on me. So now let me now tell you the worst thing that ever happened to me. After taking that baby inside that house, the hell that me and that baby had before we ran away when he was 9 months. He will beat me, he will yell, he will ask people to throw stone at the wall. He was so vicious that even if I call the police, how many times I call the police will tell me, I can't even tell them that he was abusing me. Because if I tell them, they will carry my name to Nigeria and say, oh, Ntongbe was America. They was come to take their son back to Nigeria. He will put their child in trouble, especially his family. They would even call me from Nigeria and tell me how I need to wake up and be cleaning the house. How I need to, what am I doing? I'm still sleeping. So is it these people that I will run to for help or go and call police for their child? So he came, the baby was with me. I will never forget what happened February 9. This guy used his knee to hit my eyes. My eyes like this. The next day, Wogojumi, Toby. And when I woke up, he was the one that even called 911 for me, that they should come and carry me away, that I'm mentally sick. The police officer came. 911, everybody rushed in. My baby was 2 months then. When they came or so, they looked around and the police officer saw my eyes and said, who did this to me? I cannot talk. I cannot talk. I said I was rushed going down the staircase because we had the staircase like this and I bashed my eyes. Then he was telling the police, giving the police officer a sign that they should take me to mental health. The man said, I don't see her as somebody that is crazy. You understand? If any call comes from here, I'm going to take you to jail. I don't care who you are. Each time the police come, they will tell me, you have a right. If you want him to go, I cannot do anything. I'm a poor person, me now. How can I go and put him in trouble? I did not say anything. So that February 9th, from that February 9th, he changed his tactics. His tactics was that I should sign that I want to go to counseling. And I did not know that he had already told people that are mentally sick. I did not know that he has called our friends in Nigeria that are mentally sick. I did not know he has told people that I'm monosu at all. So he kept telling me to sign this paper. I said, how would I sign that I want to go, that I'm mentally sick, that I have problem after having my child? I said, no, I did not have it. It's negative now. How would I sign something that is not for me? That is not my portion. He said, okay, you see. By the time you don't sign it, what will happen to you? You understand? You will see what will happen to you. Then he will pretend, he will buy me things, and he will want to drive me in. No, I will say no. I had to leave the room. All the things that he did to that boy, 14 years, they have open heart surgery for my son. My son now, he has not seen him. I've not set my eyes on him again in America. So he went ahead, went to Nigeria when I was out of his house, and told my parents that I'm mentally sick, that he's trying to find help. He went to our friends, all my friends. All my friends that I've not seen them. I just started seeing my friends again this May too, that I'm mentally sick, that he took me to somewhere that they are taking care of me. So in that house, we were living together. He will beat me, he will bribe me. He will beat me, he will bribe me. He will tell me not to tell anybody. He will tell me if I do this, that I'll get this. So I started asking myself, what am I doing here? How can I run away? I now ran to the base to go and see if the priest again will help me in Virginia. When I went there, my brother, they all told me that I should match myself to a mental health clinic, that I'm mentally sick. I had to stay there with my baby, crying, begging God, calling on God to come to my aid. I am telling you, when you serve God, God will come to your aid in times of need. It was just me and my child and him and with all his people, telling me to match myself inside a mental health clinic, that I should match myself. And I match myself, I sit down there, I said, God, may God change their mind. And as they would change, from the time we left there, they took me back to another place to talk to me. He came in and talked to me and said, go back and sign the paper so that you'll get treated. I said, I can't sign that. How can you tell me to sign that I'm mentally sick? I cannot sign that I'm mentally sick. IK, between me and you are beating me. You are telling me to sign that I'm mentally sick. He said, okay, you see what will happen. We went back home. When we went back home, a lot of things this guy would do. I had to run away from our master bedroom. The things that he did with the child, I cannot say that in this air, because if I say it, I know a lot of people will look for him. I leave him and God, for God to judge him. Me, I'm not in the control of that. My story today is to share my story for other women to listen and to beware. When God is telling you to stay away from it, see that sign and run away. So me and my son, we left his bedroom and we started sleeping on the floor. In another room, my son's room, on the floor, we were sleeping there. I will put comb inside the room, so that I can pee when he's inside. Poo inside that place, inside a big house, a mansion. Whenever he's at home, I will run away from him. But when he's at home, I will come out and quickly clean that place and go back inside the room when he's there. This guy now called my parents that he wants me to move away from his house, that I should go on a vacation in Nevada. That is how I left that house, and that is how God took me out of that place. When I didn't know that vacation was also a mental health place. My own uncle, I don't know what he told him. These people started abusing me, doing a lot of things to help him to cover his act. Let me tell you how I ran away with my little boy. We were living in that house. 3 days to Mother's Day. That is when he sent me away from his house, because he does not want to wish me happy Mother's Day. And that was my first Mother's Day with him. He never wanted that, so he sent me away. On that Mother's Day, I was in that house in Nevada. He never called. And I was crying. If you see my eye here, you can see crying. It can cause a lot of things for you. I will cry. I cried. I called him. He did not pick up. While I was staying in that house, 2007, May 11th, I don't know what they put in that food. All of a sudden, it looked as if I was drugged up, all my body. I was doing like this with my baby in my hand. I said, Kilode, I don't smoke or drink. How did I get here? What is this? How can I run away? I look at the whole neighborhood, there's no boss. So that morning, I just called the wife of the person. I said, please, can you help me? I want to go to Walmart. I want to go and buy something. He said, what are you going to buy? I said, my baby food. He said, baby food, okay, you have baby food. So when she said, I just ran into the bathroom there. I just dumped all my son's baby food in a trash, in the toilet, and flush it. I said, look, madam, please, my son does not have food. I started pinching my son, making my son cry so that I can run away. I pinch him and I will tell him, this woman, please help me. I want my son I want to buy food for my son. Please help me. He called the husband and said, no, don't take. I said, no, I kept making my son to cry. So at last, she now carried me to Walmart in Washoe County in Nevada. Immediately we got there, I had my plan. So I had her husband say, check how she's going out. She shouldn't go with a bag. What I did, I had a green card. I took my green card. I wrapped it inside tissue paper. I took my picture. I took my passport, my Nigerian passport. I put it inside that thing and put it in my private part. And I just followed this woman inside her car. We went to Walmart. Immediately we got to Walmart, I just made sure that I was looking at every camera inside that Walmart for people to see me. Right. I rushed into Walmart to buy food for my son. I knew that was my last day. So I went to the bathroom. I brought out my paper that I put in my private part. I just hold it. That is me. I ran away with my sword. I just took that thing. That's the dress, and I ran away. I ran into an optometry store. I said, "Please call police for me." They said, "Why?" I said, "Call police." He said, "Why?" I said, "They now call 911. Police came. The man that I ran away from, they called him and said that I ran. You know what he told them? He said, "I'm mentally sick, that the police should not listen to me." My uncle too, I'm mentally sick. But while I was fine, I was praying to God. I said, "God, please help me. Don't let them take me away. Don't let them take me and my child away." I was begging them seriously. I was begging God, not talking to them. I said, "Give me grace, God. Give me grace. Be with me." I was standing there. The policeman came and said to me, "How old are you?" I told him. He said, and I'm lucky for me, I had my picture. I said, "Look at me. This is me. It's domestic violence that made me look like this. I'm not crazy. Please help me." Then the police officer just said to the woman, said, "Stay away from her. We will take her. If we take her, if she's mentally sick, we'll take the child away and let her go on treatment." So they took me to mental health in Nevada. They checked me. There was nothing wrong with me, and they left me. They sent me to a shelter. Inside that shelter, I was in that shelter trying to struggle out of myself. I never had anybody. I don't know anybody in America. Even till today, it's just me and my son. That I in that shelter. From that shelter, I thought of how can I travel back to Nigeria? If I could see somebody that will help me to go back to Nigeria and run away with my son. I called, nobody will pick. I had his card to go back. I went to Nevada this thing airport. They said I have to have a visa. I have to buy a ticket before I can come back to Nigeria. So I said, "Okay, what can I do?" Okay, I said, "Let me run to the base in Nevada. When I run to the base, that maybe they will help me to travel back to Nigeria." So the base was very far from where I was. From Reno, it's like 2 hours drive. I had to go. I went to the bathroom again with my child, begging God to send me somebody that will help me and my son. I, I came out, went to talk to a taxi driver, and the taxi driver told me, said, "I can help you to the base, but it's going to be very expensive." I said, "I don't mind. I have his card." And I told him what I was going through. The guy said, "Okay, take that phone that you have, throw it away. If you throw that phone away, he will not be able to locate you." I said, "Can he locate me with my phone?" He said, "Yes." And he said, "Take that phone, go throw it away." And I went inside the bathroom and threw that phone away. I went to the base, ran to the base, thinking they will help me. They didn't help me. Oh, they only allowed me to stay in that room that you see for 1 month. They called him. When they called him, they told him what was going on. He said, "Oh, I'm mentally sick, that they should look at me. That's not how I used to be." So he now asked me. They now told me that they were going to fly me back to him in Virginia. I said, "God, what is this that I'm going through? Why are you letting me go back to this man, God?" So the night they told me they were going to come and pick me up, the investigator came in. So May God bless that man wherever he is. He just said to me, said, my sister, I know you're going through things. If you remain in this base, I'm going to force you to go back to him. But if you run away and go outside in Fallon, I will tell the police people there to help you. But inside this place, I cannot help you. You understand? Find a way to run away if you can. So I did. On a Sunday afternoon, I down. They were to take me on Monday to go and meet my abuser back. I knelt down, call on God again with my son. I went outside to stand by a grocery store and I prayed. I talked to a lady to help me. I told her what I was going through. This woman said, really? I'll come and pick you up in the middle of the night. Don't let anybody know. She came, I packed my only one clothes. I ran, put that clothes inside the clothes that I bought for myself from Walmart, one cloth and the one we're wearing. I had it. She came in the middle of the night and took me to stay in her house in Nevada. I started staying there. I did not know that my abuser was still following me. Please, I didn't know. This guy is so mean. He was still monitoring everything I was doing. I was living in that house with the lady, helping her. Then later I started school. I filed my citizenship. I didn't have a means to call my mother, my father, my family. My friends everywhere has been told that I'm mentally sick. My friends abroad has been told that I'm being somewhere that they are taking care of me, which is not true. So when I stayed there with this lady, I got a job. When I got the job, I was doing well. My stalker, my abuser has a lot of power. I don't know what happened. The lady said, oh, you cannot work here. We want you to go back to your husband. You have a husband. I said, which husband? I didn't answer her. So I went to school. I went to meet my counselor. My counselor helped me at the school, got me a job at the school. I started working at the school. Western. I was working at the school. When I was working there, with all these social services thing, they got my son a daycare. Unfortunately for my son started falling sick again. This woman drove me out of her house because she doesn't want to be part of the whole thing that is happening. So they will arrest her. They put me and my son in a hotel. I was staying in the hotel, so my son fell sick continuously. The 911 came and picked up my son, and consistently for 7 days, they found out that my son has something in his chest that is cancerous. He had cancer that blocked his lungs, and they had to rush my son and I to Reno Hospital. I stayed in that hospital for 2 days before they can flight my son to where I am right now that I cannot disclose to you guys. Even when I ran away from this man, he did not stop. Oh, he did not stop because he really wanted to make that madness stick on me and make people believe, and my parents cannot do anything. My parents doesn't have money. I was trying to get help. When we came to the place where we are in the hospital, I stayed with my son for over 4 months inside the hospital. A Nigerian man came and called this abuser to talk to him. He said, don't leave her alone. She's crazy. Me, I did not know. So the man too stayed away from me, thinking I was really crazy. At that hospital, they helped me and my son. We moved to a shelter after his illness. He had several medical conditions. In the shelter, I told them I was going to go to school. I was going to give up on myself or give up on my son. I started a community college inside the shelter. From one shelter to the other, from one shelter to the other, from one shelter to the other. I got to start begging for help.
Bridget,
Please.
Take a minute. Take a minute and rest a little bit. Take a minute. Um, Ladies and gentlemen, I want you guys to actually listen carefully. This is the story of somebody's life. You know, I can see a whole lot of people just judging, a lot of people just typing some stuff there. It's a pity. Your life is not as beautiful, even as our life today. Many of you guys are in bondage, and you're smiling and laughing. It's a pity. The reason I brought her on this show is to use the story of our life to educate you. I'm telling you, I was expecting you guys to just sit back, listen, carefully, and look at your own life too. What exactly is missing in your life? What is actually wrong with your life? All she want to do is to encourage you also to take that bold step. She could have died in that relationship. I've been showing you guys pictures. I showed you the picture when she left, picture of the son. Now he's playing basketball. Right now, the boy is alive. The woman is alive too. We're going to hear the rest of the story. I want her to be able to relax a little bit, drink some water, and I'm going to let her go ahead and continue. You know what I'm saying? But I'm expecting everyone to behave. I want people to, respect yourself. This is not a Yoruba movie where you come here to say nonsense. This is the true life story, the story of somebody's life. Sharing it so that you can be blessed, so that you can actually take a good step and be able to deal with the situation in your life also. All right? Nobody's begging anyone to be on this show. Nobody's begging you to be here. If you feel like you want to be somewhere else, you can do that. You can do that. You can do that. All right. I'm going to bring my sister back quickly, and she will finish her story. All right, my sister, you can go ahead now.
Oh, before I go on, I just want you guys to know this. I'm not telling this story because I want somebody to have pity on me.
Mm,
Because God has saved me, you understand? I don't want anybody to make the mistake that I have made.
just go
I'm
ahead.
not
Go ahead.
asking you, I'm not asking you, please. So, like I said, we stayed in that shelter. I had to start school again. But this individual, this abuser did not stop. All my friends have stayed away from me. When my friends stayed away from me, even the Nigerian people in the state that I was, they had already told them that I'm on Osu, I'm crazy. So nobody really wanted to help me because I tried to go to my Nigerian community people to help me. You
Mm,
understand? And I was hearing from people that they said I cheated on my husband, I brought men in, I did this. That never happened. What happened between me and him was 1991. And the
mm,
officer that I'm talking about is still living. He's a commissioner of police in one state in Nigeria there.
mm,
He was even shocked. So, like I said, me and my son, we stayed in the hospital, lived in the shelter. When we lived in the shelter, I thought this whole thing, this man has gone. He has not gone. I
mm,
begged an office, I begged somebody to help me to get housing. I got a scholarship to stay in a house for 2 years. This individual stylishly sent somebody who is a stalker that was giving him all information. The state that I was here is different from the state that he is right now. But he knows everything that I do. My
mm,
child, he did not give me child support. I don't need his child support. I need God in my son's life. I don't need his child support. He would even do something, the worst thing. Tell me how many Nigerian women will even allow that? You are not taking care of a child. When tax come, you claim that child from tax. I never took him. A lot of people told me, take him to court, take him to this. Me, I did not do that.
mm,
I did not do that. So in 2014 or so, 2000, he called me. I even gave him my number then to see whether I can allow my son to be in his life. He called me. If it's not the greatest insult you can give to a woman and a woman's family, you would divorce a woman without that woman being there. he went to Nigeria and divorced me and never took me back to my parents. He had already told my parents that I'm mentally sick. Do you know how I got my divorce paper? It was through email. He called me on a Thanksgiving morning and told me that I thought he was going to say, oh, happy Thanksgiving. He said, go to your email, oh, mo ti divorce, get the divorce paper in your email. O ti divorce me ke. Oh, ti divorce. And then the next thing again, I heard that he was married to another person. And that woman that he was married to had the guts to call my own child that he has never seen a terrorist child, that my child is a terrorist child, that you are not, that he never married you, that you used your pregnancy to tie him down. I wish that woman good luck. So like I was saying, he got a stalker to monitor me and to shame me. Everything he was doing is to shame me, to disregard me, to disrespect me and make people feel that I'm a liar, I'm not a good woman, and nobody will help me. No Nigerian person will help me. This stalker came into my life because I was a student trustee of a school. And then the stalker was a Yoruba man. He came in and told me he wanted to go out with me. And I told him I was not interested because I was ashamed. In Igbo land, you being the first child of your mother, and then you're divorced. It's a shameful thing. You've been a Christian and you ran away from a marriage. This is not me. That alone should be a shameful thing for me to think of having a boyfriend or having anything. Even till today, I chose not to have any man in my life because of all the situation that I went through. So, and then this guy came into my life. Before you know it, he was connecting with my ex-husband. I went to change my last name from his last name. If you look at my last name, they call me Nkechi Uzoegwu. I'm not Anewu, I'm Nkechi Uzoegwu. And I did not change that. I just stick by it because I know God does not call it. I'm not a crazy woman. I'm not a goat. You understand me? So he got the stalker into my life. The stalker now started telling people that I was married to him, that he came into the scene. I said, oh, you see, that's what I was saying. That's how you used to mess around when you were in my house. Now you are married to somebody and you're saying you can't remember. You can't remember. I'm telling you, you need help. You cannot remember things. You are mentally sick. I got 2 restraining order on this individual. Police was always coming to my house. The police did not believe me that there was nothing wrong with me. But just because my ex-husband really wanted to show me, because he fought with somebody because of me. This guy removed my teeth, pretending to be helping me to remove my teeth. If you see all my teeth here, it's all false teeth, to make me look very ugly, to make me look like somebody nobody would ever near. This is me today. If you see that picture and see me today, would you know it's me? So I don't want anybody to judge me. You understand me? I'm only telling you, ladies, that if you're in a situation where a man is abusing you, please run. And you mothers and fathers that would always tell us to marry who we are supposed to marry, or will you understand me? That is my son. That is my son when he was 6 years, when we were running away. That guy did not help me. If you see my son, he's 6 feet now. The ex-husband has not seen that boy till today. The only time he saw him was when he came to Nigeria, when he was 5 years old, when I went to prove to my parents that I'm not mentally sick. You understand what I'm saying? That's my son. That is my son. That guy did not help my son to that level. That guy did not know, he doesn't even know my son. So if you think I'm lying, I am not lying. I am not begging you guys to go and hurt that guy. No. Let God judge him. And I'm not begging you guys to come and help me. God has helped me to talk my story. The only painful thing that I have in mind is my parents never saw me today to tell my story because my parents were poor. My parents could not come to America. You that you are marrying somebody and you are letting your child go to America or go to this. No. Watch very well before you go into a family. You are saying something. His own brother called me and told me that he's going to pay me 150,000 naira for losing my tube, that I should stay away from their family. You understand? A lot of insults that I've received from them, even till today. The sisters and brother, they don't know my son. They don't have anything to do with my son. They've not called me even when I was pregnant. They didn't even call me to say, oh, you are pregnant or you have a baby or where's the baby? So please do not judge me. I have been running for my life. I came out today. Do you know why I came out today? And how I got to come out? My friends, COVID-19 made me stay home. When I stayed home for almost 2 months now, something just asked me to call on somebody or one of my friends, the husband. And I was looking around. I saw his number. I called the husband. Then the husband now said, oh, my wife is here. And then the wife picked up the phone. He said, Nkechi, are you still alive? They said you are mentally sick, that you are crazy. You are on the street of, in the street of US. I said, me crazy. Who said that? Me, Nkechi, is crazy. He said, yes. He said, it's not just me that have had it. So I started calling other friends. My other friends told me the same thing, that they said you are mentally sick. I have reconnected with all my friends. There was no time that I'm mentally sick. And those my friends, they saw me going through what I was going through then, but they could not talk. Okay, tell me this. How can you went to meet your boyfriend at school? He was not there. And he traveled to Lagos. You traveled to school to see him. And his roommates all gathered and said, oh, we are all going to a show at school. Oh, you can join us. We can't leave you in the room. Join us. And we all left. I was the only lady. I didn't have anything to do with them. They didn't touch me. And we all left, and I went to the show. Ike guide something, and I came back. When I came back, he came the next day. I got the beating of my life at the school. He locked me inside the room and beat me. He beat me. And when I just had to shut my mouth. Each time he beat me, and he would tell me to shut my mouth if he hears anything. I cannot be making this up. I cannot. Why should I make this up when I have God? I will not be making this up. If you want me to show you all the time the police people came to my house, I cannot be making that up. If you want me to, that my son that you are seeing, I want to show you from here to this place, they cut him up. They cut him up. And as God will have it, he's cancer free. He doesn't have cancer anymore.
Hallelujah.
He's one of the best students in his school, an honorary student. Look for him in the US, in the United States. My son won a poem that he wrote. He won in the state that I am. He won in the whole US. That he wrote his story about what a house means to him. I've taken my child from one shelter to the other. You understand? I've gone through a lot of things with this man. And I've experienced a lot of name calling just because a man abused me and I'm sharing my story. I couldn't even share my story because nobody even want to talk to me, even till now. Nobody wants to talk to me. They think I'm crazy. But tell me, does a crazy woman look like this?
You don't need to tell your story to nobody, my sister.
I just want you all, please. I beg you. I beg you all. Any lady out there watching me, and you have a child, please, when your child brings somebody, please don't tell your child who to go out with. Just pray for them to live happily. It's not all about love. It's not all about tribe.
No.
Tribe does not matter. The police officer that you are talking about, that my mother is talking about, he was there to help me. He was a godsend. But my mother did not understand. You understand? And look at me today. I'm far away. I didn't see my parents to tell them the story, and they are gone today. Deep inside my mother's mind, my mother would think I let her down. I think I was prostituting. No, I kept myself as a Christian woman. Please beware of the man that you go out with, especially the quiet ones. If you see this person, I'm telling you, he's the smartest. Very quiet. Very, you understand, but you will never believe that he could do what he was doing. I was enslaved. I was really enslaved in bondage. This month, I am breaking out of it, and I'm sharing my story to encourage every woman out there. Please beware of who you go out with. And you, the man, I want to tell you, I thank you so much for making me a woman that I am today. You did not harm me. You made me a stronger woman.
Mm-hmm.
You made me know that I can do things with God, not with man.
Mm.
And where I am today is not by your grace, it's by the grace of God.
By the grace of
You
God.
made me, yes, so I'm not going to fight you. I'm not going to judge you. I'm not going to judge you at all. And I'm not going to tell anybody your name. I'm only going to tell God who sees everything that happened between me and you. So if anybody has a question, let them ask me.
No, no, no. Nobody's got any question for you. We thank God for your life, for what you've been able to release to us. I know how difficult this is for you. The last lady I interviewed, who shared the story of her life with us last week, immediately the show ended, my phone went crazy, and I was able to speak with the mother, who happens to be in London, and she didn't take it lightly with me, but I was able to respect her and listen to what she got to say. Um, and I said to her, your daughter didn't come on my show to accuse you or to attack you. She came on my show to set herself free. The story of your life today, my sister, that you've shared with us, you've been able to set yourself free. You're free right now. Let me tell you something. When you go to sleep tonight, you're going to sleep well. Because now you're actually talking to 977 people all over the world right now. And I'm telling you, in the morning, a lot of people will still watch this broadcast. And it's going to be awesome. Right after I finished talking to the mother of that lady, the ex husband called me too. And he said, well, I didn't watch the show, but some people sent the show to me. I said, good. And he said, my ex wife was a very, very good woman. I said, that was exactly what she said too. But you guys were not meant to be together. And I was able to explain to him the lady didn't come on my show to attack you or to badmouth you. She came to set herself free. She shared her story with the world and stuff like that. And I thank God for her. She went crazy. Actually, they went crazy on her. People started calling and saying all manners of things. You know, we Nigerians.
Yeah, we
Nigerians are
do.
very secretive people. Oh,
Yeah.
why will you go on the show? Why will you tell this? Da, 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 da.
Yeah.
Wait for it. You're going to see that people will still call you. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. But the
They
issue is
really
this.
don't. They really don't know my number because
Of course,
everybody
thank
thought
God
I
for you.
was close,
You see,
that I'm
the issue
crazy.
is it. We have been secretive all of our life, and our people are dying in silence.
Yes.
So many of them are dying in silence. This is a kind of a show that we need to connect with, to share stories of our life, and we call it the beautiful exchange. What do we mean, beautiful exchange? Your story started on the bad side and ended on the good side.
Yeah.
It means that God took you on a journey all the way to your destination. Today, let them come and see you. You walked away and you're still looking beautiful. You're still sane. And I want to let you know one thing, my sister. You're going to sit back and you watch the prosperity of that your son. That guy is going to be a great guy.
I
All the
claim it.
suffering you pass through, that boy will wipe your tears away.
Amen. I
I'm telling
claim
you.
it.
And God will use him to be a continuous source of joy for
Amen.
your life. You will never regret. You will not regret ever going through those things. You will always tell your story to people. You will motivate people with your story. And even you yourself, you will never regret trying this story on my show in the name of Jesus. And even your life.
Amen.
Are you a doctor yet? You're still working on it.
I cannot talk about that now.
Don't talk about it. You will get to your destination. You're going there. You're still brilliant. You see, there is no time you can start over. You can start over. You can start over at any time. Very brilliant.
No,
You took jam
but
2 times.
today,
Uh-huh.
but today,
Yes.
where I am, I
Mm-hmm.
have a degree in criminal justice,
God bless
in
you.
correction. So,
God bless
and
you.
I can't start telling you what God has
Don't
done.
worry
I
about
was
that. God bless you.
the first student trustee. I've done a lot of things. I'm well known. I just went underground.
Glory to God.
I went on the ground because I'm under Save at Home program to
Yes.
protect me and my son.
Good.
So that is the more reason why I will not talk much
No,
about
no, no,
me.
no. Don't bother to
No,
go
and
there.
then the other thing,
Yes.
I want your program. You see,
Yes.
the thing there is, in Nigeria, we don't have places where we could run to when we need help, when we want to go back home.
Yeah.
That is my goal in life. That look, when women are going through this, we should find a way of taking them out. Who can they call in Nigeria? Is it the Interpol? Is it the embassy? Is it the military attaché here? That's the Nigerian embassy attaché to get us out of this situation. And you Nigerian people, when a woman is going through things, because it's not you, can't you just help them?
Of course.
Nobody helps me. And today they see me on the street, they want to talk to me. No, I can't talk to you. I can't talk to you because when I needed you guys help, you guys were not there for me.
Yeah, you were not there. You were not there. And I've been talking about this. I've been talking about this for many years. People believe that we are Christians, we are Christians. But we are Christians, we only go to church to go and contribute money to pastors.
Yes.
We are Christian, we go to church to show off. And the people that actually needed us, Jesus Christ was talking about the what's he call it? Is it the good Samaritan? Yeah. Who was going on the way, saw a wounded person, picked him up and took him to the inn, paid the whole money, and Jesus Christ said to the disciples, that's your neighbor. Is it somebody you can help? Look for someone to help. Look for someone to bless. The people that are hungry, those are the ones you need to help. All right? And if the church is not doing it, put it on yourself to help somebody. You know, I just thank God for people on my network, on the Raw family. I thank God for Raw family members. They give, they support. Until today, even today, somebody asked me, say, Pastor, I want to give out 5,000 to 10 people on your show today. I said, no. She said, why? I said, because if you have the data to watch my show, you don't need 5,000. The people that need 5,000, they can't watch the show. The people that need 5,000 can't even afford to buy data. The people that need 5,000 cannot feed their children. They are somewhere. Understand? That we know. And if you want to help them, I'm going to give you account numbers. Drop it there in their bank account, and they're going to be blessed. So
only one celestial church. All the Nigerian churches, all my Nigerian brothers and sisters, everybody ran away. There was a celestial church.
Yes.
The pastor allowed me and my son to sleep inside that church for more than 1 year. For more than 1 year, we're sleeping on the floor inside that church. That man, God will bless. But other than that, all my Nigerian sisters, especially the women, they were always teasing me. Yeah, even till today.
It's the journey of your life, my sister. The journey of life is rugged. Now, I always say this. If gold will be your hand, fire must be your passage.
Yes.
You can't shine without going through fire. You see, thank God that you are able to make it. Some people died in that fire. Some people didn't make it out. What you went through, some other people didn't go through as much, and they are no more today.
Yeah.
They have been buried today. Yeah. I'm telling you. I shared the story of one of my clients that was poisoned. You ate poison, you didn't die.
Yeah, I know.
You did that.
God.
This woman got poisoned and she died. And the husband called 911 and told them he was the one who killed her. They put her in jail for 7 years. He's going to be out now.
Yeah.
He's going to be out. He's going to marry another person. Your ex-husband is married to another woman, right?
He's married to another. You're happily married.
I didn't mean you are dead. You will still be married.
No, he would tell them I'm crazy that I was messing around. That's what.
And luckily, the blessing of God is upon your life. You are alive today. See, let me tell you something. When all of this stuff is over, you're going to find yourself a very nice, handsome man who will love you, who will love you for who you are. Someone that can love you, someone you can love. And then you will continue to live the rest of your life in peace and not in crisis.
But you know what?
Yes.
We know what he said.
What did he say?
You know what he said to me? Otin pay 50 years old, you are under my money run. I reject that in the name of Jesus.
Why don't you just leave it alone and let the person be? Why still stalking you? Why can't he just face his new family and just leave you alone? See, My sister, there is one Yoruba song that says, Christian, Mati Wasimi, Beni Angeli Rewi, Ni Ari Otaloa, Mashora. You see, your own case is different. You are standing with Christ. It's the hope of your glory. The Bible says, and David said, if I walk through the valley and the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. You are comforted. It doesn't matter how the enemy is roaring like a lion, they cannot devour you. You have the lion of the tribe of Judah living on the inside of you. The Bible says, greater is he that is in you than they that are in the world. And he said, when the enemy come like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord will raise a standard against them. You are in the name of God, and you are saved already. These testimonies that you start sharing from today is going to be testimony of greatness, of goodness, of prosperity, of happiness, of joy. In the mighty name of Jesus. You will not cry over that your son.
Amen.
In the mighty name of Jesus.
Amen.
That boy will not be a source of sadness for you.
Amen.
It will continue to be the source of happiness in the name of Jesus. One thing I want you to do is just to put your mind at rest. Myself and you, we're going to talk more later. By the grace of God, we're going to discuss more, because I believe we still have so much to do together by the grace of God. And the Lord God Almighty will bless us together. In Jesus' name. Thank you for coming on my show. Have a beautiful night.
All right. Yeah, thank you. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for being here with me. I really appreciate you guys. Now 129 people right now watching from all over the world. Thank you very much for sharing this broadcast. Thank you for listening. And I want you guys to always remember my sister. Remember her as you pray every day. Remember to pray for her daily. Make her one of your prayer points. What do I want you to pray for? I want you to pray for protection. I want you to pray for success. I want you to pray for open doors. I want you to pray for the son constantly, that that boy will grow, not to be like his father, but will be like Jesus. All right? His life will be like Jesus' life, not like the life of his father, in the mighty name of Jesus. So I believe you must have learned one thing or the other on this show today. Take it on. And if you are here on the show and you feel like you want to share your own story too, oh, Pastor Shola, I would like to share my story. You know where to get me. Send me an inbox message. I'm going to take it off from there. I will listen to your part of the story, and I'll schedule you to come on the show to share your story also. Thank you, everybody, and have a beautiful, beautiful night. I'll see you guys later on the flip side tomorrow. God bless you.